Legend goes that a French goldsmith named Henri Lebeau became lost during the gold rush days of the middle 1870s in the Black Hills of South Dakota and fell asleep believing he was dying of thirst and starvation. During a dream, he saw a mountain stream with grapevines growing on its banks. Upon awakening, he walked over a rise and found the stream and grapevines just as he had in his dream, and out of gratitude, dedicated his life and talents to creating jewelry in the shapes of grape clusters and leaves fashioned in rose, green, and yellow gold. The principal characteristic of Black Hills gold, in addition to its design, is a distinctive frosty finish in 3 shades of gold. Black Hills gold is now sought after nationally and internationally. By federal mandate, in order to sell and manufacture Black Hills gold jewelry, it has to be manufactured and crafted in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Once your order is entered into our computer system, a work order is generated and issued to the manufacturing floor. Production begins immediately to custom craft your order for timely delivery. Every new design begins with the handcrafting of a master wax model by our skilled artisans. Filing, cutting, scraping, and polishing the wax model must be accurately executed because the finished jewelry created from the model will be duplicated exactly. From a master wax, a silver model and production models are produced. These are only a few of the many steps in crafting Black Hills gold jewelry. Most pieces require more than 40 different steps, making our jewelry one of the most labor-intensive styles of jewelry in the market today. Once the production models are produced, virgin rubber is used to pack the model into an aluminum mold frame, shown here. This process is used to create a rubber mold, which will allow us to reproduce an item many times over. After packing, the mold frame is placed into a vulcanizer and put under pressure. This machine cooks and pressurizes the rubber at 300 degrees Fahrenheit until it becomes a solid block with the production model inside. The curing process takes approximately 1 hour. The mold is then removed from the mold frame in preparation for mold cutting. Cutting is done with a surgical knife. This procedure requires skill, patience, and experience. Remember, this is a surgical knife, and one slip could cost a finger. First, the mold is cut around the edges. Zigzag cuts are then made in such a way as to provide locks in the 2 halves and to facilitate proper alignment when assembling. Care must be taken not to nick the model with the knife, as this would ruin both the model and the knife blade. The cut mold is now pressure injected with hot molten wax at 160 degrees Fahrenheit. After a short cooling period, the mold is opened and the wax pattern is carefully removed. One final inspection takes place by individual eyes performing these processes. As many as 80 wax patterns are welded to a center sprue that is subsequently installed onto a rubber base. This process is known as treeing. Speed and accuracy of placing the waxes on the tree are important in this process. The next process is known as investing. This consists of pouring liquid plaster of Paris over the wax tree and into a stainless steel can that has been placed over the wax tree and rubber base. After the investment is allowed to set up 1 hour, the rubber base is removed and flasks are stacked in a kiln for the overnight burnout cycle. The burnout cycle serves to harden the investment and completely eliminate the wax, hence the lost wax process. Gold is yellow in color, and in its pure state, 1 ounce of gold can be stretched to a length of 50 miles. Because gold is soft, it must be alloyed with other materials if good wear from the jewelry is expected. The most common alloys are silver and copper. Gold and silver-rich alloys with a small amount of copper tend to be green. Gold and copper-rich alloys tend to be rose in color. All our jewelry pieces are produced with 12-karat rose and green leaves mounted on 10-karat frames. After the burnout cycle, the next step is casting. The flasks are allowed to drop in temperature to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, a pre-measured amount of gold casting grain is poured into a silicon carbide crucible. The machine utilizes induction heating to melt the casting grain. The temperature is taken by a pyrometer, which is placed into the molten gold. When the correct temperature is obtained, it is released into the cavities of the flask. After a 15-minute cooling period, the gold and the flask have cooled to approximately 700 degrees Fahrenheit. The flask is then immersed in water. This quenching step causes the hot investment to dissolve, thus exposing the now gold tree. The castings are next blasted clean with an air wash gun and then cut from the tree. The stub or sprue is removed by sanding in the grinding department. Other rough edges and excess cast are also removed during this process. If necessary, cast frames are smoothed for symmetry. The jewelry is now placed in a vibratory tumbler containing various types of shot, soap, and water. The vibrating action polishes the pieces in hard-to-reach places. This tumbling procedure takes several hours. During the tacking stage, gold solder in a paste form is used to fasten leaves, grapes, and other findings or jewelry parts to the cast pieces in preparation for the soldering oven. These items are tack welded in place by an electrical welding machine. Next, trays filled with multiple pieces of jewelry slowly move through the atmospheric controlled soldering oven. Temperatures at 1500 degrees Fahrenheit heat the solder paste, which subsequently causes the findings to be permanently affixed to the cast frames. Care is taken to inspect for excess solder on each piece of jewelry that passes through the oven. If the excess solder can be removed without hampering the quality of the product, it is. Otherwise, the jewelry piece is rejected for rework or scrap. The jewelry is again placed in a vibratory tumbler for another round of tumbling. The smooth surface of the leaves are left with a beautiful frosty finish look through the process known as wriggling. During this stage, the artisan carefully moves the piece of jewelry back and forth under a motorized wriggling tool just enough to wriggle the smoothness out of the leaves. Next, the piece is engraved. Here, the artisan skillfully engraves cuts into the leaves at just the right detail to catch the light that adds a shimmering look to the nearly finished piece. In addition to engraving, diamond cutting can be added to certain jewelry styles to enhance the reflection of light. The process is slightly different because a diamond cutting wheel, rather than a cutting tool, is guided by the artisan to place mirror-like cuts along the edges of the jewelry. This is the stage when a ring will be sized. While we offer our rings in a standard size for both men and women, upon request, we can size most rings to your specifications. We take pride in announcing that our product is no longer flashed with a gold plating. Rather, we spend time in the polishing and buffing stages to develop a natural carat gold look that is more appealing to the wearers of our product. The final delicate touches are added in our polishing and buffing department. Jeweler's polish is applied to the styles in several different polishing steps. Intricate care, together with precision, is used to remove the polish in such a way as to leave a lasting and lustrous shine. After the polishing and buffing stages, each piece of jewelry is meticulously cleaned and subsequently coated with a special formula to preserve the beauty of each piece of jewelry. Certain styles require skilled stone setting techniques used by our stone setters to set precious and semi-precious stones in just the right way to complete another beautiful Black Hills Gold look. All stones are discreetly selected from qualified vendors who we have built long-lasting working relationships with in order to ensure consistent quality stones setting after setting. Absolutely no jewelry is issued to our shipping department until it's been inspected by artisans who are specifically trained to identify any and all imperfections that will not meet our quality standards. Our quality standards will not be compromised under any circumstances. Once our jewelry has successfully advanced through the 40-plus manufacturing steps, it is now ready for packaging, pre-tagging, and shipping. One final inspection takes place by individual eyes performing these processes, once again to ensure the delivery of superior merchandise to our valued customers. To sell Black Hills Gold, you sell romance. There is a story behind it, and after all, isn't that what all jewelry is about? People love to buy jewelry that has an intrinsic value and a story behind it, an emotional, valuable thing for them to have, cherish, and collect. What is Black Hills Gold jewelry? While many consumers might believe that Black Hills Gold jewelry is a certain type of gold, it actually is a design of fine jewelry that was created from a legend similar to the one told at the beginning of this video. The design of product traditionally styles grape leaves, grape clusters, and grape vines into the motif. By federal mandate, the jewelry must be manufactured in the Black Hills of South Dakota in order to carry the name Black Hills Gold Jewelry. Does the gold come from the Black Hills? Gold is purchased from several different refineries throughout the United States. Many of those refineries purchase their stock from Home State Gold Mine, which is located in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Is it authentic Black Hills gold? Yes. Black Hills gold is produced from a carat gold blend. Gold in its purest form, 24 karat, is too soft to use in the manufacturing of jewelry, and of course it's extremely expensive. Therefore, alloys such as copper and silver are properly balanced to give it strength, reduce the cost, and maintain the brilliant gold color. What is the gold content of Black Hills gold? Black Hills gold is 10 karat gold accented with 12 karat rose and green gold leaves. The rose and green golds are made with alloys. Gold and silver alloys with a small amount of copper tend to be green. Gold and copper alloys tend to be rose in color. What will work best to clean our Black Hills gold? We recommend that a soft toothbrush and warm soapy water be used at home to clean Black Hills gold jewelry. In general, most over-the-counter jewelry cleaners are also acceptable. Be sure to encourage special care with jewelry that is set with pearls, semi-precious, and precious stones.